Gene Hackman, Hollywood legend or unsolved mystery. He built an $80 million empire, won 2 Oscars, then vanished. Now, his shocking death has left behind chilling questions. What really happened in his final days? Check out 8 interesting facts about Gene Hackman, the last of which will surprise you. Shocking double tragedy. The mysterious deaths of Gene Hackman and wife Betsy Arakawa. In a chilling turn of events that has left Hollywood and fans worldwide in utter disbelief, legendary actor Gene Hackman and his wife, classical pianist Betsy Arakawa, were found dead in their Santa Fe, New Mexico home on the 26th of February, 2025. The couple's lifeless bodies were discovered alongside one of their cherished dogs, adding a haunting layer to this tragic narrative. Hackman, aged 95, and Arakawa, 65, were discovered by a maintenance worker who, after receiving no response at the door, peered through a window to witness a scene that could rival any cinematic thriller. The actor's body lay near the entrance, suggesting a sudden collapse, while Arakawa was found in the bathroom, prescription bottles ominously scattered nearby. One of their dogs, an Australian Kelpie, was found deceased near Arakawa, while their 2 other dogs were found alive on the property. Initial investigations ruled out foul play and carbon monoxide poisoning, despite the discovery of a minor gas leak that was deemed non-lethal. Data from Hackman's pacemaker indicated his heart ceased beating on the 17th of February, 9 days prior to the grim discovery. The couple's bodies had begun natural mummification, indicating they had been deceased for some time before being found. The enigmatic circumstances surrounding their deaths have led to widespread speculation. Some experts propose that the stress or shock from discovering a spouse's death could have induced a fatal event in the other, especially considering Hackman's known heart condition. However, with toxicology reports pending, the exact cause remains shrouded in mystery. The film industry mourns the loss of Hackman, a cinematic titan whose career spanned over 5 decades, earning him 2 Academy Awards among numerous accolades. At the 97th Academy Awards on the 2nd of March, 2025, actor Morgan Freeman delivered a heartfelt tribute, referring to Hackman as a dear friend and lauding his monumental contributions to cinema. This unforeseen double tragedy not only marks the end of an era in Hollywood, but also leaves an indelible void in the hearts of those who admired and loved the couple. Do you feel sorry for the death of the Hackman's couple? Comment, yes. Inside Gene Hackman's $80 million empire. For over 6 decades, Gene Hackman didn't just dominate Hollywood, he built an empire. With a net worth estimated at $80 million, his fortune came not only from blockbuster paychecks, but also from real estate, brand endorsements, and even a surprising second career as a novelist. His acting career alone made him one of the highest-paid stars of his era. In 1972, he earned a staggering $1.2 million for his intense performance in the Poseidon Adventure, a sum unheard of at the time. But it was Superman, 1978, that cemented his Hollywood power. Hackman pocketed $2 million for playing the iconic villain Lex Luthor, a role that became one of the most legendary in superhero history. He continued commanding massive paychecks, bringing in $1.3 million for The Quick and the Dead and Lucky Lady. But Hackman didn't just rely on Hollywood. He played the financial game like a mastermind. His real estate portfolio was equally impressive. His Santa Fe mansion, which he bought in the 1980s, has skyrocketed in value, now worth an estimated $3.8 million. But that's just one piece of the puzzle. He previously owned a sprawling estate in Montecito, California, and a cliff-top property in Pebble Beach, proving that his wealth wasn't just in the bank, it was built into some of the most sought-after properties in the country. And then there was his voice, a deep, commanding presence that wasn't just perfect for films but also for advertising giants. Hackman became the voice of Lowe's home improvement, lending his authority to commercials that reached millions and added another lucrative stream to his fortune. Even after retiring from Hollywood, Hackman didn't stop making money. He transitioned into writing, publishing 3 historical novels, starting with Wake of the Perdido Star in 1999 and followed by Pursuit in 2013. Though his books weren't runaway bestsellers, his Hollywood reputation ensured they always attracted attention and steady sales. From blockbuster earnings to luxury estates and a hidden literary career, Gene Hackman's empire was built on talent, strategy, and an undeniable ability to stay ahead of the game. $80 million? That's just the surface of a fortune, as legendary as the man himself. Gene Hackman, the Hollywood titan who conquered the silver screen. In a career spanning over 6 decades, Gene Hackman didn't just act, he dominated Hollywood, earning legendary status with an unstoppable mix of grit, talent, and versatility. With 2 Academy Awards, 2 BAFTAs, 4 Golden Globes, a Screen Actors Guild Award, and the prestigious Silver Bear, Hackman's career is a masterclass in cinematic excellence. His name became synonymous with powerful performances, whether playing flawed heroes, ruthless villains, or morally complex anti-heroes. The 1970s marked the golden era of his fame, when he skyrocketed to A-list status. In 1971, his role as Inspector Jimmy Popeye Doyle, a relentless cop in a gritty action thriller, earned him his first Oscar for Best Actor, launching him into superstardom. Then came French Connection II, 1975, where he reprised his Oscar-winning role, proving that his talent wasn't a one-time phenomenon. But it was 1978's Superman, the movie that made him an international icon, as he brought Lex Luthor, the ultimate comic book villain, to life, a role he would return to in 3 sequels. In 1986, he starred in Hoosiers, one of the greatest sports films of all time, playing Coach Norman Dale, a performance that left audiences inspired. But his greatest villainous role came in 1992 with Unforgiven, where he portrayed the brutal sheriff, Little Bill Daggett. His chilling performance in Clint Eastwood's legendary Western earned him his 2nd Academy Award, this time for Best Supporting Actor. In 1995, Crimson Tide paired him with Denzel Washington in an electrifying showdown of power and tension aboard a nuclear submarine. Even as Hollywood changed, Hackman remained a force to be reckoned with. In the 2000s, he delivered another career-defining performance in The Royal Tenenbaums, 2001, playing the eccentric Royal Tenenbaum, a role that won him a Golden Globe. Then, in 2004, he made his final on-screen appearance in Welcome to Mooseport, before shocking Hollywood by announcing his retirement from acting. But Hackman's story didn't end there. Leaving behind the bright lights of Hollywood, he turned his focus to writing, penning several historical novels that further showcased his unparalleled storytelling ability. Though he stepped away from the screen, his legacy remains untouchable, a cinematic icon whose impact will be felt for generations. Gene Hackman didn't just star in movies, he defined an era. Comment Hackman if you like him. Inside Gene Hackman's ultra-luxurious mansion, for years, his 12-acre estate in Santa Fe, New Mexico, was more than just a home. It was his fortress, his masterpiece, and the place where he truly lived life on his own terms. The property underwent a complete transformation, reflecting Hackman's bold vision and refined taste. He personally oversaw the redesign, tearing down walls to create grand open spaces. What was once a cluster of small rooms became the centerpiece of the home, a vast, sun-drenched living area supported by towering tree trunk columns, furnished with plush, irresistibly comfortable sofas, and equipped with an ultra-modern stereo system that filled the house with the music Hackman loved. The architectural style? A striking fusion of Pueblo, colonial New Mexico, and Spanish influences, blending history, artistry, and luxury into one breathtaking estate. But this wasn't Hackman's first venture into elite real estate. In the 1980s, he owned a 25-acre estate in Montecito, California, which he sold for $5.5 million in 1985. Decades later, in 2015, another owner flipped the same property for an astonishing $25 million. And the numbers only got bigger. Hackman also previously owned a clifftop mansion in Pebble Beach, California, which he sold in 1993. In 2012, that very home hit the market for a jaw-dropping $79 million, proving that everything Hackman touched only increased in value. From New Mexico's rugged beauty to California's ultra-exclusive coastline, Hackman's real estate empire reflected his larger-than-life presence, timeless, powerful, and always ahead of the curve. Even in retirement, he lived like a king, surrounded by the kind of luxury that only Hollywood's true legends can afford. And if these walls could talk, they would tell the story of a man who built his own kingdom, one mansion at a time. Inside Gene Hackman's $5 million car collection, classic icons and ultimate luxury. When Gene Hackman wasn't relaxing in his sprawling Santa Fe estate, he was behind the wheel of some of the most iconic, high-performance cars ever built. His garage wasn't just a collection. It was a carefully curated fleet of automotive excellence, worth over $5 million, blending raw American muscle, European sophistication, and untouchable luxury. At the heart of his collection sat the 1967 Shelby Mustang GT500, valued at over $350,000, a muscle car icon with a thunderous V8 engine and a street-dominating presence. But Hackman didn't just admire American muscle, he lived it. His 1957 Chevrolet Corvette, a $350,000 beauty, embodied the golden era of speed and style, a car designed for those who craved both power and prestige. Yet, Hackman's taste for elite engineering stretched far beyond Detroit's finest. His 1964 Aston Martin DB5, worth $1.5 million, was the ultimate statement of British refinement and espionage-level cool. Yes, the same model James Bond made famous. Adding to his rare collection, he owned a Bristol 401, a handcrafted British Grand Tour worth $400,000, built for those who demanded exclusivity and elegance in every detail. Of course, no legendary car collection is complete without Italian firepower and German precision. Hackman's Ferrari 308 GTS, valued at $250,000, was the ultimate prancing horse, blending speed, craftsmanship, and racing heritage. Meanwhile, his Porsche 911 Turbo, worth $200,000, delivered raw, unfiltered adrenaline, a car designed for those who never settle for second place. And when it came to absolute luxury, Hackman didn't hold back. His Rolls-Royce Phantom, valued at $600,000, was a rolling masterpiece of handcrafted perfection, the kind of car fit for Hollywood royalty. But Hackman's passion for high-end travel wasn't limited to the road. He also owned a private jet, estimated at $10 million, ensuring that he could fly in ultimate comfort and style, no matter where life took him. A true Hollywood legend, his taste in cars, planes, and yachts was as commanding as his presence on screen. He didn't just own luxury, he defined it. Gene Hackman's untold love story, 2 marriages, Hollywood fame, and a tragic ending. Behind the Oscar-winning performances and Hollywood stardom, Gene Hackman lived a private yet deeply complex personal life. Unlike many of his A-list peers, he avoided scandals, stayed out of the tabloids, and kept his personal affairs away from the spotlight. But the story of his 2 marriages, one that lasted 3 decades, and another that stood the test of time until his final days. His first marriage was to Faye Maltese, a bank secretary, in 1956. Together they had 3 children, Christopher Allen Hackman, Elizabeth Jean Hackman, and Leslie Ann Hackman. But despite the strong foundation, Hollywood's relentless demands took a toll. With Hackman constantly on set, chasing roles and building his empire, his marriage slowly unraveled. After 30 years, they officially divorced in 1986, a casualty of a career that required him to be everywhere but home. Then came Betsy Arakawa, the woman who would become his lifelong companion. A classical pianist, Betsy met Hackman in the 1980s at a gym where she worked, and despite their 30-year age difference, an undeniable connection formed. By 1991, they were married, and unlike his first marriage, this one was built on shared solitude, mutual respect, and a life away from Hollywood's chaos. Though they never had children together, Betsy was Hackman's rock, standing by his side as he left the film industry and embraced a quieter life in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Their love story took a heartbreaking turn in 2025 when the couple was found dead together at their home, marking the tragic end to a lifelong partnership. Hackman's life was filled with power, fame, and fortune, but in the end, it was his quiet devotion to his second wife that defined his final chapter. His story wasn't just about Hollywood dominance, it was about love lost, love found, and a legend who left the world on his own terms. Inside the life of Gene Hackman, Hollywood's billion-dollar legend. Born Eugene Allen Hackman on the 30th of January, 1930 in Danville, Illinois, his journey to stardom was anything but conventional. His passion for acting sparked at just 10 years old, but life had other plans. At 16, he dropped out of high school and, after lying about his age, enlisted in the Marine Corps, where he served as a field radio operator for 4.5 years. Discharged in 1951, he moved to New York, briefly enrolled at the University of Illinois to study television production and journalism, and then found himself in Los Angeles, where he took his first acting classes at the Pasadena Playhouse in 1956. It was here that fate intervened. He formed a close friendship with Dustin Hoffman, his classmate and future Hollywood icon. In 1957, he made the move back to New York City, and just a year later, landed his first role in the off-Broadway production of Chaparral. By 1961, his face was on both the big screen and television, making his film debut in Mad Dog Cole and appearing in an episode of Tallahassee 7000. Then came the breakthrough that changed everything. In 1964, director Robert Rossen cast him in Lilith, and from that moment on, Hollywood couldn't ignore him. The 1970s cemented his legend, with standout roles in I Never Sang for My Father and the blockbuster Superman. Hackman's career spanned decades of unforgettable performances, from crime thrillers to intense dramas. He delivered a career-defining performance in Wes Anderson's The Royal Tenenbaums, 2001, earning critical acclaim and a string of awards. But in 2004, after filming Welcome to Mooseport, he made a decision that stunned Hollywood. He retired from acting, walking away at the peak of his craft. But Hackman wasn't finished leaving his mark. He turned to writing, publishing best-selling novels. Though he largely stayed out of the spotlight, he briefly returned to the public eye to narrate two powerful Marine Corps documentaries, The Unknown Flag Raiser of Iwo Jima and We, the Marines. From a high school dropout to a Hollywood legend, from a Marine Corps soldier to a multi-millionaire icon, Gene Hackman's life is a testament to resilience, talent, and the art of reinvention. He may have left the silver screen, but his legacy, it's forever. Inside Gene Hackman's private world, passions, politics, and the one role he loved most. Beyond the Hollywood glitz, Gene Hackman was a man with a love for the simple joys of life. Though he built a career playing tough, complex characters, in reality, he found solace in art, nature, and the quiet companionship of animals. A devoted animal lover, Hackman cherished his pets, often choosing their company over the chaos of Hollywood. His appreciation for beauty and creativity extended to his private art collection, which included paintings, sculptures, and rare works of art. He was also an avid traveler, constantly seeking new cultures, unexplored landscapes, and experiences beyond the silver screen. And while he had the wealth to indulge in luxury getaways, his favorite pastime was far more grounded: fishing. Whether in quiet lakes or remote rivers, Hackman found peace in the thrill of the catch, preferring the outdoors over the artificial glamour of Hollywood parties. When it came to politics, Hackman was never afraid to speak his mind. A supporter of the Democratic Party, he even took pride in being listed on Richard Nixon's infamous enemies list. Yet, in a surprising twist, he spoke fondly of Republican President Ronald Reagan, proving that he was far more nuanced than labels would suggest. Despite his retreat from Hollywood in later years, he never lost his love for sports. A devoted Jacksonville Jaguars fan, Hackman was often spotted at games as a guest of former head coach Jack Del Rio, cheering from the sidelines with the same intensity he brought to his films. But perhaps the most intriguing revelation? Of all his iconic roles, from The French Connection to Unforgiven, Hackman once admitted that his favorite performance was in Scarecrow, a gritty 1973 road movie co-starring Al Pacino. It wasn't the biggest blockbuster, but to Hackman, it was the role that mattered most. A man of contrasts, depth, and mystery, Gene Hackman was never just a Hollywood legend. He was a force of nature, both on and off the screen. And even in retirement, he remained an enigma, living life on his own terms until the very end. What do you find most impressive about Gene Hackman? Let me know what you think in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Like this video, subscribe so you never miss a new story about the world's most fascinating people. Thanks for watching.